6. Lucky numbers to win big lottery jackpot. On Saturday, May 24th, 2025, Buddhist teachings. What if the lucky numbers you're hoping for this Saturday hold more than just a chance to win the lottery? What if each number carried a deeper meaning, a quiet message from the universe nudging you toward clarity, purpose, and inner peace? In this special episode of The Journey of Wisdom, we're not just revealing 6 powerful numbers for May 24th, 2025. We're diving into the sacred stories, Buddhist teachings, and mindful lessons behind them. Because real abundance isn't only about chance, it's about alignment. Whether you're here for inspiration, transformation, or a little bit of magic, these numbers might just be the gateway to something far more valuable than money: a life lived with intention. 1. Number 35. Small steps toward sacred growth. Number 35 brings a quiet kind of power. It doesn't crash into your life, it realigns it gently. As we approach Saturday, May 24th, 2025, this number reminds us that growth doesn't have to be fast or loud to be meaningful. In a world obsessed with instant success, 35 asks, what if slow is sacred? The number 3 speaks of creativity and honest expression. The number 5 brings change and freedom. Together, they invite us to grow in a steady, soul-aligned way. In Buddhism, transformation begins within, not from chasing outcomes, but from living with clarity and compassion. As the Buddha said, a jug fills drop by drop. That's the spirit of 35 quiet steps that lead to deep change. Take Ethan, who always dreamed of writing a book but felt stuck. One day, after seeing the number 35 3 times, he committed to writing just 1 page a day. It didn't disrupt his life, it became part of it. A year later, the book was finished. It didn't make him famous, but it changed him. Like Thich Nhat Hanh said, smile, breathe, and go slowly. Around May 24th, let yourself feel into the stirrings of what calls to you. Not to fix, but to begin honoring. Maybe it's a conversation you've postponed, a habit that no longer serves you, or a creative spark waiting to be nurtured. The universe rarely yells, it nudges. Let 35 be that nudge, that sacred whisper, inviting you to begin again with tenderness and clarity. To embody this energy, try this. Write down one area of your life that longs for a shift. Not something grand, but something true. Beneath it, jot down 3 gentle steps you could take. Steps that feel kind, not heavy. Choose just one this week. Let it be your quiet revolution. Let it be your sacred beginning. Remember, true success doesn't roar. It resonates in the stillness of your soul, echoing with every intentional act. Comment below. I grow 1 step at a time with purpose. And carry with you this teaching from the Dhammapada. As a flower that is lovely and beautiful, but is scentless, even so fruitless are the fair words of one who does not act accordingly. Let your steps be scented with sincerity, and your growth be the kind that blooms softly yet fully in the garden of your life. 2. Number 26. Grounded abundance and spiritual alignment. If you've been feeling off track lately, drained by the daily grind or disconnected from what really matters, then the quiet, steady energy of the number 26 might be exactly the nudge your spirit needs right now. Unlike flashy signs or loud awakenings, The number 26 carries a peaceful frequency that doesn't disrupt your life but gently realigns it. As we move towards Saturday, May 24th, 2025, consider what this number is whispering to you. Come back to yourself. The deeper meaning of 26 lies in its parts, 2 and 6. The number 2 speaks to harmony, trust, and intuition. It's that inner voice that nudges you toward peace instead of pressure. And 6, it represents compassion, responsibility, and the kind of service that feels soulful, not exhausting. When you combine them, you get a powerful reminder that true abundance comes not from hustle or hollow achievements, but from living with deep integrity. From a Buddhist perspective, abundance isn't about grabbing more. It's about living in alignment, where your thoughts, emotions, and actions support each other like still water supporting a lotus. Ask yourself, are the goals I'm chasing truly mine, or am I running after someone else's idea of success? Adrian, a man who once ran a successful but soul-draining business, found this out the hard way. Burnt out and anxious, he kept seeing the number 26 pop up on bills, clocks, receipts, and it stirred something in him. Eventually he unplugged, reflected, and made a bold shift. He simplified his business and started choosing projects that matched his core values. The result? His income returned, his peace deepened, and for the first time in years, he felt at home in his own life. This is the quiet magic of 26. It doesn't make you rich overnight, it makes you rich within, and from that inner wealth, outer abundance naturally flows. As the energy of May 24th draws near, consider this your chance to ask some meaningful questions. Are you honoring your truth? Are you spending your time with intention, or are you performing for approval? A small ritual can help anchor you in this energy. Find a peaceful moment and write down 2 heartfelt intentions, one for your inner world, like peace or clarity, and one for your outer world, like financial ease or fulfilling work. Then list 6 small actions you can take this week to honor both. They don't have to be dramatic. Sometimes it's the smallest changes that realign us the most. Let this moment be your quiet return to center. Choose alignment over approval. Choose depth over display. Comment below if this message resonates. I choose alignment over approval. The lesson of 26 is simple, yet profound. When you live in harmony with your truth, abundance doesn't need to be chased. It flows toward you naturally. 3. Number 37. Transformation from within. Let's talk about something deeper than just luck. Let's talk about the kind of inner shift that can change everything. Today, we're entering part 4, number 37. Transformation from within. Now, I know you're probably wondering, what does a number have to do with my life? Especially when I'm just hoping to win the lottery this Saturday. But hear me out. Some numbers, like 37, don't show up to promise comfort or quick fortune. They arrive like spiritual alarms, nudging you to look inward and ask yourself the hard questions. Am I living in a way that truly reflects who I am? According to Buddhist wisdom, transformation isn't about chasing something shiny outside yourself. It's about returning to your original nature, the self that existed before fear, doubt, or the world told you who to be. The Buddha once said, "Just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past again and again." Have you felt that restless itch lately? That feeling that maybe your job, your relationship, or even the version of yourself you've been holding on to no longer fits? That's 37 calling. Let me tell you about Jenna. a kind, steady teacher who had everything right on paper but felt emotionally invisible. One night she found an old journal entry that read, "I want to write stories that heal people." That forgotten dream hit her like a bell, and just like that she started writing again. First one story, then many, until she self-published a book. No, it didn't make her famous, but it brought her back to life. You see, the number 3 in numerology is about self-expression and creativity. The number 7 represents spiritual truth and inner wisdom. Together as 37, they become a sacred invitation, not to reinvent yourself. So here's a little practice for May 15th. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 parts of your life that no longer feel true. Then, beneath each one, jot down one small step you can take to begin releasing it. Don't overanalyze it, just be honest. Are you living in truth, or merely surviving in comfort? What dreams have you buried under your busy life? And what part of your true self is quietly waiting for you to listen? If this resonates with you, I invite you to write in the comments, "I'm ready to transform from within." Because change doesn't begin with doing something new. It begins with the courage to let go of what's no longer real. Number 37 is not here to make things easy. It's here to help you come home to yourself. So tell me, are you ready? 4. Number 11. The Inner Awakening. Number 11 is not merely a number to hope on for a lottery jackpot. It's a deeper call to pause and reflect on where we truly are in life. Unlike flashy signs that demand our attention, the number 11 tends to whisper. It quietly appears in life's small, still moments, like a gentle nudge that encourages us to wake up, not from sleep, but from the distractions and routines that pull us away from our inner truth. In Buddhist thought, this awakening begins with awareness. The Buddha taught that our reality is shaped by our thoughts, and number 11 acts as a sacred mirror, inviting us to look inward and question whether our current path reflects our real values or merely our habits. This number isn't promising external rewards. Instead, it's asking if we're living with intention or just reacting to life on autopilot. Take Sophia, for instance, a single mother stuck in a job that drained her spirit. One quiet evening, after tucking in her children, she saw 11:11 on the clock. That simple moment, easy to overlook, sparked something in her. Over time, the number kept showing up, and rather than dismiss it, she took it as a message to listen to herself. She realized she had buried a lifelong dream of becoming a wellness coach, silenced by fear and responsibility. But that tiny shift in awareness led to action, small at first, then transformational. Today she lives in alignment with her truth, guiding others to do the same. In astrology, 11 aligns with Uranus, the planet of sudden insight and awakening, often shaking up what's no longer serving us. This discomfort isn't a sign to retreat. It's a sign that something powerful is unfolding. Awakening doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it comes through a simple question. What truth have I been avoiding? As we move toward May 24th, 2025, let that question guide you. Set aside 11 minutes in silence, no phone, no pressure, just presence. Ask honestly, breathe deeply, and jot down whatever rises up. This is your seed, and whether it blooms today or weeks from now, know that the shift begins the moment you truly listen. So if you see the number 11, don't just hope for luck. Let it remind you that true fortune is found in inner clarity. The world may not change overnight, but once you do, everything begins to look and feel different. 5. Number 7. Listening to the silence within. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and endless to-do lists, how often do you stop to truly listen? Not to others, but to yourself. The number 7 isn't just a digit. In Buddhist wisdom, it represents the deep inner seeker, the one who turns inward rather than chasing the outer world for meaning. 7 invites us to step into stillness, into the space between breaths, where our true voice lives. It's the kind of silence that doesn't feel empty but sacred, alive with truth. As we approach Saturday, May 24th, 2025, 7 speaks louder than ever, not with noise, but with clarity. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat quietly and allowed your heart to speak without judgment? A Zen master once told his student, "When you drink tea, just drink tea." That's the essence of number 7, doing one thing at a time with full presence. Peace isn't found in doing more, but in being fully present in what we do. I once knew someone, we'll call him Daniel, who seemed to have it all: success, a loving family, and a packed schedule. But inside, he felt like he was disappearing. One evening, after a health scare, he tried something simple. 10 quiet minutes on the porch. No phone, no distractions, just stillness. What started as a pause became a life-changing habit. His sleep improved, laughter returned, and even his work aligned more closely with his purpose. It wasn't magic, it was mindfulness. That's the quiet gift of number 7. Spiritually and astrologically, this number links to Neptune, the planet of dreams, higher knowing, and intuition. 7 connects the seen and the unseen, reminding us that not everything valuable can be measured. Some truths, like love, peace, or contentment, must be felt to be understood. And if life feels overwhelming lately, that's your sign to pause, not to escape the world, but to come back to it with new awareness. Try this. On the morning of May 24th, sit silently for 7 minutes. Just breathe. Ask yourself, what is my heart telling me today? Then write down one word or thought that stands out. It may seem small, but this is how wisdom speaks. Softly, consistently. Over time, you'll reconnect with your own quiet knowing. So, what is your inner voice saying beneath all the noise? Share in the comments. I choose to listen to my inner wisdom. The lesson of number 7 is simple yet powerful. The answers you seek are already within you. You just have to slow down enough to hear them. 6. Number 6. Wealth built on the 6 perfections. Let's talk about something that doesn't often get the spotlight when people dream of winning the lottery. The deeper meaning behind why we seek abundance in the first place. This Saturday, May 24th, as many people wait with hope for 6 lucky numbers to bring a sudden windfall, let's pause and ask, what if the real jackpot has nothing to do with chance and everything to do with how we live each day? In Buddhist wisdom, the number 6 holds a quiet power. It represents the 6 perfections, timeless practices that build true wealth from within: generosity, morality, patience, energy, meditation, and wisdom. These aren't abstract ideas. They're daily choices, and unlike lottery winnings, this kind of wealth doesn't vanish. It's the type of success you carry in your heart, not just your wallet. Picture this. Instead of chasing quick results, What would happen if you practiced generosity today? Maybe with your time, your attention, or even your forgiveness. What if you chose patience instead of reacting in anger, or acted with integrity when nobody was watching? A friend of mine once left his high-paying job to live by these values. It wasn't easy. He faced doubt, discomfort, even judgment. But slowly, something began to shift. Through mindful habits and small, consistent actions, he built a life not just of financial stability, but of inner freedom. And isn't that what we're all truly craving? Not just to have more, but to be more at peace. As we move through the energy of late May, a time that invites reflection and reset, the number 6 gently asks us, where in your life are you choosing speed over depth? Are you planting seeds that will actually bear fruit, or just chasing outcomes that leave you empty? Saturn, often linked to the number 6, reminds us that real rewards come through discipline, honesty, and time. So maybe the lucky numbers this weekend aren't printed on a ticket, but hidden in your choices. Try starting your day with a small but meaningful ritual. Journaling, setting an intention, saving a little, saying no to what drains you. It may feel quiet, even invisible, but over time these small acts shape a life of deep, lasting abundance. So I invite you to pause and ask yourself, what's one simple action I can take today that my future self will thank me for? Maybe that's where the real magic begins, not in sudden luck, but in steady, soul-aligned living. Why successful people meditate. The Buddhist secret to attracting wealth with clarity. In today's fast-moving world, success is often measured by external achievements, wealth, status, and productivity. Yet if you look closely at many truly successful individuals, entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders, you'll find a common thread woven into their daily lives: meditation. But why do so many successful people meditate? And what does this have to do with Buddhism, clarity, and even wealth? Let's explore this together through the lens of Buddhist wisdom. Number 1. Meditation creates inner stillness in a noisy world. In the whirlwind of modern life, where the pressure to achieve often drowns out inner peace, meditation offers a profound shift. It creates inner stillness in a noisy world, the kind of stillness that successful people quietly rely on. The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think you become," a truth that remains as relevant today as it was 2,500 years ago. At the core of every meaningful success is not just action, but clarity, the ability to see through the fog of distractions, fears, comparisons, and desires that clutter the modern mind. Meditation isn't simply a wellness trend, it's mental training. Just as athletes train their bodies, the wise train their minds. Through daily stillness, they learn to observe rather than react, to pause before choosing, and to replace chaotic inner chatter with focused awareness. With this clarity, decisions become more intentional, not rushed. Creative insights, often drowned out by constant stimulation, surface more naturally. Opportunities that were once obscured by stress become visible, even obvious. This shift from noise to insight is why many leaders and creators, from tech founders to artists to CEOs, have turned to meditation, not to escape the world, but to engage with it more skillfully. They understand the deeper truth. Success is not about doing more, but being more. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile. But sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. Likewise, your stillness can be the source of your clarity, and that clarity can be the source of your abundance. We live in a time when our attention is pulled in every direction. News alerts, deadlines, digital comparisons, and constant connectivity. It's easy to become scattered, reactive, and even numb. Meditation becomes the antidote to this fragmentation. When you sit quietly, breathing with awareness, you return to the present moment. And the present moment is the only place where real choices are made and real change begins. Buddhist teachings often refer to the mind as a wild elephant. It needs training or it will trample through your life. In our modern context, this means that unless we tame our thoughts, they will lead us into burnout, anxiety, and poor judgment. Meditation is that gentle training. It doesn't force or suppress the mind, but teaches it to settle, just like muddy water becomes clear when left undisturbed. The benefits of this clarity ripple out into every area of life. You become less reactive in relationships, more deliberate in your career, and more grounded in your goals. As a result, you attract wealth, not just financial gain, but the deeper wealth of time, wisdom, and aligned purpose. This is the kind of wealth that lasts. Lao Tzu once wrote, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." Through meditation, we begin that inner conquest, not with force, but with awareness. We learn to respond rather than react, to lead from presence rather than pressure. So if you're in your 30s to 60s, juggling career, family, health, and dreams that haven't faded with time, now is the perfect moment to reconnect with yourself. You don't need to retreat to a mountain cave to meditate. Even a few minutes a day can change how you show up in the world. In fact, it's in the heart of your busy life that meditation becomes the most powerful. Let this be a gentle invitation. Success doesn't have to be stressful. Peace and productivity are not opposites. And sometimes, the greatest achievement is learning to sit still, breathe deeply, and truly listen to yourself, to life, and to what really matters. Number 2, wealth is not just money, it's mental clarity. Let's talk about something that might change how you view success. Wealth isn't just about having money, it's about having mental clarity. In Buddhist wisdom, this idea runs deep. When we hear the word wealth, we often think of money, luxury, or status. But what if I told you that real wealth is something far more personal, internal, and sustainable? In the teachings of the Buddha, wealth is a peaceful and focused mind, relationships rooted in kindness, freedom from fear and endless craving, and living with a deep sense of purpose. It's not about what's in your bank account. It's about what's in your heart and how clear your mind is when you make decisions. Now, that might sound idealistic, but stay with me, because there's something powerful here that even the most successful people are beginning to understand. Many high achievers today, from CEOs to athletes to creative leaders, turn to meditation not just for stress relief, but because it gives them a sharp edge in life. They're discovering a secret that Buddhism has quietly taught for centuries. When the mind is clear, decisions improve, stress reduces, and abundance flows more naturally. Let me tell you a story to bring this to life. There once was a businessman in ancient China who had everything: wealth, properties, influence. But he was tormented by anxiety, constantly worried about losing what he had. One day, exhausted by fear, he visited a Zen monk and asked for advice. The monk simply gave him a teacup and poured tea into it. He kept pouring until the tea spilled over. The man cried, "Stop! The cup is full." The monk smiled and said, "Exactly. Your mind is like this cup, so full of fears, plans, and desires that there is no room for peace. Empty your cup and you'll find what you're truly looking for." That moment changed the businessman's life. He began meditating daily, slowly learning to let go of his obsession with control. Surprisingly, as his mind became calmer, his decisions became sharper, and his business actually grew, not because he was chasing success harder, but because he was making choices with clarity and intention. So ask yourself, what is filling your cup right now? Is it endless worry about the future, the pressure to prove your worth, or the desire for more without knowing why? When we meditate, we learn to gently let go of these mental weights. Meditation isn't about escaping life, it's about showing up fully with awareness. When you're no longer driven by fear or greed, you stop chasing things blindly and start choosing with wisdom. And that's when abundance begins to show up, not just financially, but in the form of peace, connection, and energy. It's ironic, isn't it? The more we chase, the more things slip through our fingers. But the moment we pause, breathe, and let go of that desperate need, things start to come to us. As the Buddha wisely said, health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. Real wealth starts with contentment, because contentment creates clarity, and clarity guides us toward true fulfillment. So the next time you think about success, don't just ask yourself how much you want, ask yourself how clear your mind is. What would your life look like if your decisions came from peace instead of pressure? This is the heart of the Buddhist path, doing good, avoiding harm, and purifying the mind, not just for spiritual reasons, but because it leads to real, grounded, and sustainable success. You don't need to give everything up, you just need to see more clearly. Lesson for today: wealth begins inside. Meditation helps us slow down, release craving, and see what truly matters. With clarity, we make better choices, and when we live with purpose and peace, abundance of all kinds flows naturally. Number 3. From craving to clarity, breaking the cycle. Have you ever noticed how the more we chase after things, money, status, recognition, the more they seem to slip through our fingers? There's a deep truth that the Buddha shared over 2,500 years ago, and it still holds today. Craving is the root of suffering. This craving, this constant hunger for more, is what keeps so many people stuck in cycles of stress, exhaustion, and dissatisfaction. And here's the surprising part: even many successful people are quietly trapped in that same cycle, feeling anxious, burned out, and empty inside despite all their outward achievements. But the ones who rise above that, who find not just success but deep, lasting peace, often have one thing in common: they meditate. Why? Because meditation isn't just about closing your eyes and sitting still. It's about seeing clearly. It's about stepping out of the storm of craving and into a space of clarity, where decisions are no longer driven by fear or ego, but by wisdom and peace. You see, a lot of people chase success because deep down they feel they aren't enough as they are. Have you ever felt that way? That unless you get the promotion, buy the house, or prove yourself to someone, you won't feel whole. That kind of drive may produce results, but it often leaves people feeling even more disconnected than before. Buddhist teachings gently invite us to examine this habit of grasping at the next goal, the next dollar, the next validation. But what if you didn't need to grasp anymore? What if you could act from a place of enoughness, right here and now? This is the shift that meditation brings. It's like turning down the noise of the outside world so you can finally hear your own inner wisdom. Instead of clinging to an idea of success based on comparison or competition, you start to move from a space of gratitude. You begin to see clearly what truly matters. As the Buddha said, health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. When we meditate regularly, we reconnect with this inner wealth, the kind that no market crash or job loss can take away. And when we operate from that space, success becomes a byproduct, not the goal. We're no longer running after life, we're flowing with it. That's a powerful shift. Let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you made decisions from clarity instead of fear? What if you could pursue your goals, not because you need to prove something, but because you're already at peace with who you are? That doesn't mean we stop striving or dreaming. It means we strive from a centered place, where our actions are aligned with our values and our hearts. That's when success becomes truly sustainable and deeply fulfilling. When our inner life is in harmony, it naturally begins to reflect in our outer life. This is not about renouncing ambition, it's about refining it so that it serves your well-being instead of stealing it. From my own journey, I've seen how meditation softened my attachment to needing constant outcomes. It gave me space to breathe, to choose wisely, and to feel whole regardless of what I achieve. And I've seen it in others too. People who began meditating not to become monks, but to become better leaders, better parents, better human beings. And over time, something beautiful happened. Their definition of success changed. It became less about accumulation and more about contribution. So if you've been feeling caught in the cycle of striving, of always needing more just to feel enough, perhaps it's time to pause and ask yourself, what am I truly chasing? And who would I be if I already had everything I needed within me? The Buddha reminded us, it is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. In meditation, we begin that inner conquest, not by force, but by presence. And from there we build a life not only of success, but of serenity. If you've made it this far, you're already unlocking the deeper wisdom behind true wealth and clarity. Comment mindful abundance below to show you're ready to align success with inner peace. Stay with us. There's still so much insight ahead that could transform the way you attract wealth. The Buddhist way. Don't miss a moment. Number 4. Right intention attracts right action and results. One of the most powerful yet often overlooked teachings of the Buddha lies within the Noble Eightfold Path, specifically the principle of right intention. This is not merely about having a goal or desire, but about the deep quality of your motivation. Right intention means moving through life guided by compassion, truthfulness, and wisdom, rather than by fear, greed, or ego. When we speak of success in modern times, whether it's in business, relationships, or personal growth, what truly sets people apart is not just what they do, but why they do it. And this is where meditation becomes more than a wellness trend. It becomes a tool for real transformation. Through consistent meditation practice, the mind gradually settles, allowing us to see through surface-level impulses and emotional noise. As clarity arises, our intentions become more grounded, not in fleeting desires or comparison with others, but in a deeper understanding of what actually brings fulfillment and peace. This clarity doesn't just sit quietly within us. It naturally begins to guide our decisions, our behavior, and even the energy we bring into our daily tasks. In the fast-paced world we live in today, with constant distractions and pressure to achieve more, it's easy to chase goals that don't actually align with our deeper values. Many people spend years climbing a ladder only to find it was leaning against the wrong wall. But successful individuals who incorporate meditation into their lives understand this subtle truth. When your intention is aligned with integrity and purpose, the actions that follow are more focused, ethical, and effective. This doesn't mean the journey is always easy or without obstacles, but it does mean that each step you take is grounded in something real, something that endures. You're no longer swayed by every trend or external opinion. Instead, your energy becomes directed and intentional. You stop reacting and begin creating. This is not just spiritual advice, it's practical wisdom. In workplaces, people with clarity and inner alignment are the ones who lead with calm confidence, make better decisions under pressure, and inspire trust in others. In personal life, these qualities translate into deeper relationships and more resilient mental health. When intention and action walk hand in hand, results follow, not just in the form of financial wealth, but in the kind of richness that fills your life with meaning. If you've ever felt scattered, overwhelmed, or like you're working hard but going nowhere, it might be time to pause and ask, what is truly guiding my actions? Meditation gives you the space to answer that question honestly, and the strength to follow through with what feels right. By aligning your inner compass with timeless values, your outer life begins to reflect a kind of success that isn't just impressive, it's sustainable and deeply fulfilling. So as you move forward, remember, right intention is not just about positive thinking or setting goals. It's about returning to what matters, letting go of what doesn't, and taking action from a place of inner truth. That is the real secret successful people have discovered, and it's a wisdom that is available to all of us, one mindful breath at a time. Number 5. Success with soul. Living a balanced, meaningful life. Have you ever wondered why so many highly successful people, from CEOs to artists, athletes to entrepreneurs, talk about meditation as a non-negotiable part of their day? It's not just about relaxing or escaping stress. The deeper truth is this: success without inner peace is not real success. It may look impressive on the outside, fancy titles, packed calendars, financial wealth, but inside many people find themselves battling burnout, disconnection, or a deep sense of emptiness. Meditation, especially as practiced in the Buddhist tradition, offers something that money and status alone cannot provide: clarity, balance, and meaning. When you look closely, meditation isn't just sitting in silence. It's an act of coming home to yourself. It allows the mind to settle, like a muddy glass of water that becomes clear when left undisturbed. And in that clarity, something beautiful happens. You start seeing what truly matters. This is why successful people who meditate often report feeling more grounded, more connected to their purpose, and more compassionate in their choices. They no longer chase success for ego or approval, but instead use their success as a way to serve, to uplift others, and to live with intention. You see, real success is not measured only by what you earn, but by how you live. Are your relationships healthy? Are you kind to yourself? Do you sleep peacefully at night, knowing you're aligned with your values? Meditation creates the space to ask these questions. It helps you listen deeply to your own heart, instead of being lost in the noise of external pressures. Buddhist wisdom teaches that wealth is not a problem, but the attachment to wealth is. When you're ruled by craving, you're never satisfied. But when your mind is calm and clear, wealth becomes a tool, not a trap. This shift is powerful. It turns success from a selfish pursuit into a soulful journey. It's the reason why those who meditate often feel more abundant even before their bank accounts grow, because they're rich in awareness, gratitude, and presence. They attract opportunities not just because they hustle, but because they radiate trust, focus, and calm. Have you ever noticed how you're drawn to people who are at peace with themselves? That's the invisible magnetism meditation creates. It's not magic, it's mindfulness. So let's reflect. What kind of success are you chasing? Is it the kind that leaves you exhausted, always needing more? Or is it the kind that feels whole, where your outer life reflects your inner harmony? Meditation is not about escaping the world, it's about engaging with it from a place of clarity. It reminds us that we don't need to burn out to shine bright. You can be successful and centered. You can be wealthy and wise. And the truth is, when you align with this deeper path, success tends to find you naturally, because you're no longer chasing. In the end, here's the lesson. True success is success with soul. It's the ability to live a balanced, meaningful life, where peace is not a reward you hope for someday, but a companion on the journey. So if you want to attract wealth, start by cultivating clarity. If you want to lead, start by listening. And if you want to thrive, start by sitting, just a few moments each day, with your breath, your thoughts, and your heart. That is the Buddhist secret that the world's most successful people are quietly practicing. And now it's in your hands too. As we've explored, these 6 lucky numbers are more than just digits on a ticket. They are reminders of inner growth, clarity, and the quiet wisdom that guides us to true abundance. Whether or not you win the jackpot this Saturday, may you walk away with something far more valuable, a deeper connection to your path, your purpose, and your peace. If this message spoke to you, help us spread the wisdom. Like the video, share it with someone who needs a little inspiration. And don't forget to subscribe to the Journey of Wisdom. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming episodes, filled with mindful teachings and spiritual insight. Until next time, may your steps be gentle, your heart be steady, and your journey be filled with meaning. With gratitude and peace. See you soon.